Mark Newnham, now you've got a fascinating newcomer lining up early on the card Sunday in race 2 in the shape of INVINCIBLE IBIS. He's a horse who's trialled quite nicely.
Yeah, nice horse. Bought him at the Ready to Run in New Zealand 18 months ago. So he's had plenty of time to acclimatise. He's had a few trials now, I think about 5. His last trial, I asked Luke just to do a little bit more on him the last 200, and he responded well. He's drawn a nice gate on Sunday, so he should run well.
Interesting, obviously I look back through the sales record, you did indeed buy him. His price rose quite comfortably from his yearling stage. I know you had little to do with him as a yearling, but you did as far as his purchase price as a 2-year-old. What was it that you saw in this horse early on, Mark, that suggested he was worth going to that sort of money for?
Oh, I saw enough improvement. He was just a big horse, a bit raw. You know, sometimes at those breeze-ups, the best day of their life is the day they breeze up. But you know, you want a horse in 2 to 3 years' time performing for you. So I saw a horse with good scope for improvement, and so far that looks to be the case.
And from a Page perspective as well, he's down won 11 races. Am I correct in thinking she won 11?
Yeah, look, a good strong family, good winning family. Hellbent's he's a good stallion. Horses continue to improve as they age. So, you know, that's the type of horse that suits Hong Kong. You know, good tough family. With speed.
They've been kind as far as the barrier is concerned as well for a debut, gate number 2. So that must have been a bit pleasing when you saw that.
Yeah, certainly helped for an inexperienced horse. So, Luke will have some options there on how he jumps. But, nice to be able to have those options than if you're drawn out.
Zach, good racing coming up on Sunday. You're obviously a big part of that always. And race 4, the River Verdon Handicap, Packing Hermod is a horse you're back on board. He's a decent type of horse, this fellow, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He continues to get better. He's had a really good season. He's going to have to do it the hard way now with the extra weight on his back, but his trial recently was good. He's in good form, so there's no reason why he can't run well again.
I know you hadn't sat on him for a little while, but that trial, I mean, it looked pretty impressive, didn't it? Did he give you the feel of a horse who's going to take that next step forward?
Well, we hope so. He's just continued to raise the bar as he's been asked to, and he's had a little bit of time between runs now, and he was always a lightly framed horse that was struggling to fill out, but he feels like he's matured a little bit, and he's going to need to be a little bit stronger if he's going to carry the weight against these horses.
Yeah, he certainly is decent enough race. 2 from 2, as you say, first up. Mustn't forget, obviously, 3rd in the Classic Mile as well. So, I mean, I know it's 4-year-old form, but it's very strong 4-year-old form.
Yeah, he's been a model of consistency. It sort of hasn't mattered where sort of what distance he's raced over or where he's been. He's always turned up and given his best, and I think he's going to do that again.
David Hayes, big day of racing coming up on Sunday, the final Group 1 of the season. More on that shortly, but you've got SHAMUS Storm lining up in race 7. He's a horse who's really put it all together now, and surely that win's only a matter of time away, isn't it?
I think so. Like he just got beaten with Zach on the other day. I think a horse just outmuscled him a bit more experienced. But he's trained on. He certainly hasn't gone backwards. His barrier's ideal. And I would be disappointed if he wasn't close in the finish.
How has he done in that 3 weeks in between runs? I mean, it's a decent enough little break, isn't it, for a horse like him?
Yeah, look, at young horses, 3 weeks is probably ideal to a month. He is a horse that I'm sure is going to make it and will be much better next season. But we'd love to get a win or two to get him up the ratings a bit, so he's right for the 4-year-old series next year.
Interesting. Looking back at that race last time, David, obviously you say he was just outpointed by one with perhaps a little bit more experience, but the way he sort of knuckled down to the task, I thought, was quite impressive.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought he was going to win, but he did fight and just got beat, and it was a good margin back to 3rd, which is always a good sign.
Izzy, Paul, great to see you here with Dubai Honour, of course. Always great to catch up. And this wonderful horse, trained by your boss, William Haggis, is here for another go in Hong Kong. And I imagine you must be quite confident and excited at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's obviously off the back of 2 massive runs in Australia. He won the Tancred Stakes and then was very gallant, finishing 2nd behind Via Sistina in the Queen Elizabeth as well. So very pleased with how he's travelled over. He was a little bit cheeky, as I'm sure people saw on Tuesday morning, but but since then has been training beautifully and actually coping with the incredibly humid conditions really well.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting quite comfortable with Shart in it. Let's just talk about the horse, Izzy, sort of as a person, if you will. He's just been a wonderful story, a wonderful servant to his connections. What kind of horse is he? Tell us about Dubai Honour.
Oh, look, he's the ideal horse to travel because he's so laid back. He just takes everything in his stride and actually even kind of seems to really thrive off it. He loves all the kind of attention, and we had Steph out here from the Hong Kong Jockey Club yesterday, and he's there giving her a cuddle and sort of looking for sweets, and all that sort of side of him just makes him a really special character. And then obviously to continue to perform at Group 1 level as a 7-year-old is quite amazing.
And especially for us here, Izzy, obviously it's great to have these international runners come over to Hong Kong. You and he have quite become the pair, haven't you? I mean, I know he means the world to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done 2 Aussie trips, and this is our 4th trip to Hong Kong together. So we've spent a lot of one-on-one time together. And yeah, look, he's a very likeable horse, and he's a horse that I ride every day at home as well as out here. So you form a pretty special bond, especially when they stay in training that bit longer.
He's having a go at a different race this time around, is he? The Champions in Chater, of course, a mile and a half. He ran so well in the Vars last December. He's getting that little bit older. Is this very much his trip now? I mean, his form would perhaps suggest that.
Yeah, I think so. The mile and a half trip definitely seems to suit him. As I said, you know, he ran a very big race in the Queen Elizabeth, which was obviously back down to 10 furlongs. But the mile and a half, you know, he won the Prix de Saint-Cloud last year, and then obviously the Tancred was a mile and a half, finished second behind RUBYLOT, again over a mile and a half in December. So yeah, he just looks like he's sort of staying that trip a little bit better, and we're sort of fingers crossed for a big race on Sunday.
We know that this has always been the one that your boss, William Haggis, has always wanted, a win here in Hong Kong. I imagine it's a special place. He's obviously got that connection to the late, great Lester Piggott, etc. as well. So do you feel any pressure at all bringing this horse over, knowing that, you know, the boss really does want to win here?
I mean, I really want to win here as well. So I suppose there's a little bit of pressure there, and the horse has finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th here. So he's shown good form here, and there's no reason that he shouldn't pick one up somewhere. I think it would be fantastic to get a win, but because the horse he never runs a bad race, so I shouldn't say things like that, but anyway, he never seems to run a bad race, and you know, so from that perspective there's probably a little bit less pressure.
I guess finally, from a pressure perspective, you're trying to upset a Triple Crown aspiration as well with Voyage Bubble. So look, it's not an easy race, granted, but it should be a good race nevertheless with some quality horses. Yeah,
you know, looking forward to it, and yeah, we seem to end up breaking hearts wherever we go. So hopefully we do the same on Sunday.
First of all, we may cut to the chase. Why him over Bundle Award, perhaps?
I was already committed to him before I rode Bundle Award, so that is primarily the reason that I was on him. But at the same time, I think he's, you know, hopefully the better chance, because he's shown at Group 1 international level over this distance in December that, you know, he ran very well. He was right there, and with a little bit more of a cleaner run, he could have been even closer again. But he's a type of horse that needs a little bit of time to wind up. So the 2400 might even be a little bit on the short side for him, but he's certainly going to run the distance. And like I said, he's proven that against the international horses before. And he's had a good season, so hopefully he's the right one.
It's fascinating you say that about the trip, of course. I mean, this is as far as we do go in Hong Kong, not many opportunities for them, but he's looked every inch the mile and a half horse, hasn't he, really, in those sort of 2000 runs?
Yeah, one thing he hasn't done in any of his races is giving ground in the straight. He always continues to keep finding the line, and, you know, if anything, he just runs out of time to get there. So hopefully it's my job to get him into the race at the right time and let his, you know, stamina and ability to run strongly through the line shine.
You've had a sit on him in the trials, Zach. How did he feel?
He never trials flash. It's far too short for him, and he don't like the dirt. But you know, he's fit, he's healthy, he's well, and that's all we're after.
I know you're perhaps only really worried about your own horse, and that's the one you want to get home in front. But what of the opposition? I mean, this is a good race this year, isn't it? You've got Voyage Bubble, of course, going for that Triple Crown. You've got Dubai Honour, as the aforementioned Bundle Award won the recognised trial. So it's a fairly handy race, isn't it?
It's a larger field than probably what we would have been expecting. But yeah, there's an interesting element there with Dubai Honour coming back, and as you say, Voyage Bubble going for the Triple Crown, and you got Bundle Award on the way up, and some horses there out of the Derby, and some older horses that have been going around for a long time. So they're all meeting at the same spot, and we'll see how the race is going to be run. But a genuinely run race, I think, is going to sort everyone out, and hopefully that's what we get.
Brilliant ride to get. He's a young horse, sort of quite lightly raced here, and he won quite nicely the last day in a Group 3 over the same trip. And so hopefully if we can get a nice trip round, it's a very open race, and he's not without a chance.
And I guess the fact he has won the recognised trial, the Queen Mother Memorial, that's obviously key, because there aren't too many chances over the 2,400 metres, but you can be confident that he will certainly stay it.
Correct. Obviously, they didn't go very quick, which turned into a bit of a sprint, and he's the horse that can actually quicken. It could happen very similar on Sunday. I'm not sure how much pace is going to be in the race, but it doesn't really matter with him because he's a horse that gets the trip, but he can quicken too. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Very confident in the mile and a half. He's by a speed side, but out of a very dour mare, and I think he's thrown to her. Mind you, he's won at 1,000 as well, so he's quite an amazing young horse. But his last 2 runs, he's just been crowded and been a little bit unlucky, and just hasn't been able to let go as much as he can. I really think Hugh really thinks he should have ran 3rd in the big race the other day, and that was enough to say, let's have a go in this. And he hasn't gone backwards since, hasn't missed a piece of work, and I'm confident he'll run the mile and a half.
He certainly has. And just finally, I mean, you're a great man to ask, of course, vast experience in this game. A good race, this. I mean, Dubai Honour, we know plenty of him. Voyage Bubble's going for that Triple Crown tilt. I mean, it's a fairly good race this year, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd be a brave man to tip against Voyage Bubble. I'll back he'll stay the distance. Yeah. And if he does, I think he'll be too good. He'll be very hard to beat.
Mark Newnham, ALSONSO is an interesting horse I want to talk to you about. He's seemingly coming quite good at the moment. 2 very good runs over this course and distance his last twice. Yeah,
look, he's we've sort of had to work with him a bit. His best form in Australia was at 12 and 14, but here he seems to appreciate the 1,000 metre straight. It's taken him quite a while to come right in the coat, and he has done it his last couple. He's been a little unlucky, but saying that, he jumps back into Class 3 after being unlucky in Class 4, so it's not ideal, but he comes in at a lightweight.
He does indeed. You've got Alexi Bedell on as well, of course, who can obviously do those lightweights and is very good value for it. I wanted to ask you about that, obviously, with what you've told me regarding sort of him just taking time to come in his coat. And I mean, we can all be very quick, I suppose, of thinking horses disappoint us a bit, but was a bit more expected early on of this guy?
Oh, absolutely. His trials at this time last year were, of quite a good standard. His first run was good, but then he went off the boil a little bit, and he went off in the coat, and he just wasn't handling the conditions here. Train him out of Chungfa now, and look, I think just the different training options up there suit him as well. He works a lot on the uphill gallop, and it just seems to be coming together at the right time for him.
And just looking at the race, it's a competitive one, but he's obviously got that lightweight, as you say. And you've also got some handy enough runners this weekend, so you must be fairly confident that it'll be a good Sunday, all being well?
Well, I hope so. We've got 9 there, and some nice horses amongst them. So, look, if they've all been running consistently, we just need them to put their head in front.